There are so many people that are so afraid to move that they move everything and everyone around them slowly.
Yeah, of course. Holding
When
people
there's
back.
something in their vicinity that is made to move fast.
That's right.
And can get the result that they were wanting to get in the first place.
That's right.
But they are holding them back. There are some things that some people come into our life and they may force us to really change and look at it and take a hard look and recognize that we're the reason why it hasn't worked yet. We need to collaborate with the people that we have in our circle. And if you have people under you that you employ and you don't let them do what they're gifted to do, you are the bottleneck.
Welcome back to Aspire Higher with Charles and Yvana Bailey. We're so excited that you're here because It's going to be a good one. Thank you always for your support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Now, I don't want you to listen anymore if you didn't subscribe. I'll wait. 3, 2, and subscribe.
Someone just so press close. They're like, okay, you ain't got to tell me twice.
No, we're so excited to be here. And thank you always for your support as well. The content that we're delivering is meant to inspire, to transform, uplift, to challenge and strengthen your life. So I hope that you're looking at these episodes and you're grabbing something. Even with our guests, we pick our guests and make sure that they also offer value.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen an episode, please go back, watch some more because I'm telling you, it's going to transform and propel your life forward.
Yeah, and set higher aspirations for their life. I mean, the whole point is to help people to aspire higher.
That's it.
To see that there's more for them, that they can actually achieve it. And then we put people in front of them who have. People who have lost and gained. People who were champions and lost that, but then have redefined their lives. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. Now, I want to talk about collaborating.
Of course.
Collaborating, we see that all the time, whether it's bartering services, influencers, collaborating in community is essential because it accomplishes a goal with like-minded people and making sure that you accomplish it together in unity. So I know for a fact that a lot of things would not have been possible if you didn't collaborate on my vision, if I didn't collaborate with your vision, if I didn't find mentors and ask people to help or support me in different capacities. I mean, it seems, I just hit me. It seems like some people are afraid to ask for support.
Man.
They're afraid to ask for collaboration because maybe they're hiding their talents, which we talked about in
one of our previous episodes. Yep.
So good. They're hiding their talents, or maybe they don't feel like they're worthy. That's a big one. And the list goes on with it. But we are here to challenge you today. Of course. And we're here to shake that stuff up because it doesn't belong in you anymore. And being able to collaborate with community, being able to find like-minded people to grow. Forget comparison. It's not about that. It's not about that. Go ahead.
Well, I see what you're doing there because you're absolutely correct. I remember listening to, I think, Myron Golden. I like to call him Uncle Myron. Every time I write him, oh, what's up, Uncle? But one of the things he shared, and he was talking about how things have changed in the marketplace.
Of course.
He said that we are in the season of collaboration. Right. So you have many stories of the solopreneurs, the people who set out on their own and they were self-made. Well, truth is no one is actually self-made. No matter how we perceive it and how they may present it, there was always someone or something, or even if it was an insult or being fired, there was someone that was a catalyst.
That's right.
But the reality of it is that now, because of technology, because of how fast the market is moving, because of different things that are impacting and affecting the way we live, you have to completely rely upon partnerships with other people to do some of the things that you could have done but may not have time to do, or rely upon strengths to your weaknesses.
That's right. That's right.
It used to be a time where you just lived off your strengths and you just let those weaknesses hide, but those weaknesses are destroying people. So now, because we've learned, we can actually bring other people in to do what our weakest area would have been, but they are strong in those areas.
Right. Very, very good point. Very good point. I like that. And they're just better together. Like there's so many terms that are strong enough to build a foundation on. Takes a village. That's another one, right? So when I think about community and I think about collaborating, there is with an end goal, there is a vision already set, and you are trying to link arms with people who can get you there. So mentorship, coaching.
People that can get you there.
People that can get you there, right? So you need, even in athletics, you need the coach to help you get there, right? But sometimes there are people that are there in your life to help propel you forward.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And you know what's interesting, because this is a great place to start this, and I'm telling you, I'm already feeling the fire, because we forget that we're standing on the shoulders of other great men and other great women and things that they did before us.
That's right.
And the crazier thing is that we're also standing on the work, the dedication, the sacrifice of some people that we will never know and never meet.
True.
That had nothing to do with our lineage.
That's true.
Or
Absolutely.
our bloodline.
Who came before us? That's
Civil rights.
Right.
No matter what a person feels about that, some of us can only experience, like for us, which we're always grateful for, we can only experience the level that we have chosen when they themselves didn't even have an opportunity to choose.
That's right. Absolutely.
So their fight, their struggle, and what it meant for us, they weren't here to see it, but we're living in the benefit of it.
That's right.
So I want to make sure I stress that, because it doesn't matter if you're a minority or not, because there's someone else. Some people have generational wealth right now. They got homes and houses that were passed down and passed down and passed down and passed down. That was somebody else's work.
Yeah.
That many times we take credit for.
That's right. That's right.
So we need to be honest with ourselves, because that is the first step when it comes to collaboration. Is knowing that you did not, first of all, do anything on your own. And two, when you're really being honest, you cannot do anything by yourself.
That's right. That's right. You really can't. There are people that try.
Sure.
I don't know how successful they'll continue to be.
Right. No, I'll give you that.
Okay. Because some people have succeeded, but it's still very important. To be able to operate with collaboration.
Of course.
As the foundation.
But you also have to see what collaboration really is. Here's what I want to say. When you have an employee, that is a collaborator with your vision.
That's right. Absolutely.
So this is This is why I said earlier, there are really no self-made anything.
No.
Because there's no one who went to a place and said, you know what, I'm going to speak a word over this business, and it's going to be a Fortune 500 company, and I'm going to do it with no employees. I'm going to do it with no education. I'm going to do it with no resources, and it's going to happen. It doesn't.
No.
That doesn't even happen in fairy tales.
No.
Just really think about it, because you need the fairy godmother in a fairy tale.
Thank you. Exactly.
So point I mean is you have to actually see everything that you do as a means and an opportunity for the right collaboration.
That's right. And you know what's funny is sometimes there are people around you that can fulfill that capacity or fill it up, and you not even know because you didn't ask.
Right.
A lot of the times we're not asking the important questions.
You did say that.
We're not asking the right people that are already around you. And if they're not around you, you need to do the work and get them away from you.
But you also need to ask the right questions. Why is it that there are no people around you?
Got 'em, yeah.
Remember, I said this over and over again, and it's still one of my favorite quotes my mother would always say. She was like, Charles, I don't care if the whole class said you did it. If they said you did it, you did it. But he said, if it's one or two people, I may doubt them. But here's the deal. Same thing goes in the opposite. If everybody doesn't want to be around you, then you don't have a problem with everybody.
No, it's a problem within.
It's a problem with your body.
Absolutely.
You the body.
Absolutely. Do the work. That is my favorite, most challenging phrase. Do the work.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Do the work. Do the work. Open the mouth that God has given you and do the work. Now, when I think about the levels that I have seen others climb up, celebrate to on the mountaintop, I don't settle myself with comparison.
Yeah, man.
I start to search within myself, and I'm like, how can I get close to them so I can learn what they did to get there?
Come on. And not even just close, because success leaves clues.
How can I be humble enough to watch their life, observe their fruit, observe maybe even a seed if I can, to learn how they bore that fruit, and then put myself in the position and challenge myself to still do the work.
Come on.
Even though you observe doesn't mean that all of a sudden, I'm a billionaire now.
It's just like what you said in the last episode we recorded about no talent grows when you bury it.
Isn't that the truth?
Because the reality of it is that it depends on the organic makeup of the thing that you bury, whether it'll grow or not. I can put metal in the ground and it won't grow into a metal tree.
How can it?
So there's some things that I have to expose and some things that I need to put in front.
Right.
And watch this, of the right people.
That's right.
To help me maximize what it is that I already have.
That's right.
But I want to say this because it's important that you said this. Some of us don't even recognize that there are people around us, or should be people around us, that we can collaborate. And then watch this, watching other people who have done it, we shouldn't be thinking, I want what they have right now.
Right. The right now thing, oh my God.
Because we miss the collaborative portion of how can you help me at least make the climb? You don't go from the bottom of Mount Everest to the top. I mean, unless you're airlifted, but even then, you still have to go through the long journey up.
The trajectory up is ridiculous.
So you have to be willing.
Give me a step.
You have to be willing to take the same amount of time. You want to be like this person you're watching and comparing yourself to? I remember this and I'll never forget it. And it is something I held on to for a long time. I think it was one of our colleagues, and he was talking about when his mentor said to him, he said that I was talking to my mentor and he says, he said, I was talking to my mentor and I was like, yo, I see what you got. You got the multi-million-dollar business and you're doing all the speaking engagements. You're on television all the time and you have millions and millions of subscribers. Like, I just don't understand it. He said, yeah, but you're comparing your step 1 to my step 20. I've been doing this for 25 years consistently. And you're seeing today because you're my client today. But for that 25 years, I was putting in the work when no one was watching.
Exactly. And with that, Grant Cardone mentioned some of the greatest keys to success lie in you not being idle. Being idle with time, being lazy with time, scrolling all day, endlessly. Every day, watching your shows all day, every day. I mean, how? How can you do the work?
You're not doing the work.
You're doing other work, but how can you do the work that you need to propel your life forward?
But that also brings up the point. Because what happens is you're watching all these feeds and you're doing all this. You feel like you're doing work because you're exhausted,
tired,
and did nothing to move your dreams and vision.
With no blue light filter on their phone.
Exhausted from a long day of thumb curls. You know what I'm saying? Like
thumb curls.
You know what? It would be awesome if, for whatever reason, sitting there scrolling and doing things. And again, I'm not trying to insult anyone, but it also has to be this truthful, because sometimes we'll think we're doing work, but even what we know by research, Pew Research, people spend about 30% of their day actually doing their job.
You know how many times I've been in offices, had to speak somewhere, and then you'll catch...
They just sit in there.
On their phone.
Come on, man.
I'll walk up to a counter for customer service. They're on their phone. I'll ask somebody for a cup of on their phone.
But they're exhausted because they're at work all day. But all right, okay, we beat that enough. But here's what I want to say, because I want to bring it back to the topic at hand. Right. Collaboration versus comparison.
Right.
The point that I was making about this particular thing is that he was comparing the success he saw, the ministry, the life, the work that he saw, as opposed to seeing the mission and the time that it took to build that. Man. But I'm sure you have thoughts about that.
The time that it took to build that. There are some great resources out here if you're willing to do the work.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that will download the PDF, hire the coach, go into the mastermind or whatever it is. And it will sit there.
It will sit there.
It will sit
You do
there.
realize that the statistics is 3% of people who even start programs like that do not finish them.
3%.
Excuse me, 3% that actually finish them, excuse me.
3% that actually
finish it out of 100%. And honestly, if you're watching or listening, think about something that you started, a program that you started, training that you started, a program that you started.
A diet, a fad,
whatever it is. And now, how long did that last? Is it your lifestyle today? Mm-hmm. Are you still putting into practice those principles that you were paying to learn? The point is, that's the challenge.
That's right.
But here's something else I want to add, because going back to that point was he at least had a mentor.
Yeah.
Though he said that to him, that established in him the concept of, okay, we're doing the work to get me to where you are. And watch this. And likely we'll get there faster.
That's right.
Because he has collaborated
That's right.
with someone.
That's right.
to help him not go through some of the same mistakes, or to have someone that he can rely upon when he does encounter things that he has no educational understanding of.
Right.
We have to start seeking collaboration over comparison, especially today.
Align with someone who will make you better.
Absolutely.
Align with someone that maybe has your skills, but they've perfected it. They are excellent at what they do.
Absolutely.
They carry integrity and character beyond any person you've ever met. Align yourself with those people.
Absolutely.
Some people never open up the opportunity or never open up the door to people who can literally transform their lives.
Their entire life.
They're so afraid. They're so afraid to ask for that resource, to get the help, to get the support that they need. And it's a shame, because all that beautiful talent just sits there day in and day out, and all those wishes, I wish I could be. I've always dreamed to be. You've always heard that. Some of the richest place on earth?
And we always talk about it, the graveyard.
The graveyard, exactly.
All the dreams that have died, the ideas, the corporations, the books that weren't written,
that's real.
The art that wasn't drawn or expressed. There is so much there. And that's what we said in our last episode. So many people looking back over their life saying, I could have been, I would have been, I should have been, and now I'll never be.
No, you won't.
You have to choose now, but here's one of the ways to do it. Collaborate with people that are already doing it so that you can, at the very least, stop making excuses. Because I'm telling you, when I said what I said about us standing on the shoulders of other great people, there are plenty of people right now whose arms are bold enough and big enough and strong enough to support us.
Right, absolutely.
And you went back to the very beginning of asking.
Right.
It takes humility to ask. And I think there's probably the one word we said more than anything else over all of these seasons of this show is the humility to ask. You have to have great courage.
You do.
To ask.
Right.
Humility is literally the epitome of courage.
Absolutely.
Because I don't have to pretend to be profound. I can be honestly in my place. Authentically perform.
That's it.
And then I can get progress.
That's right.
I'm telling you, here's what I want to say that I got to make sure I stress, because I was on my way to it and it just hypes me up every time I think about it. Because there's an old African proverb that everyone has heard and they've probably misused it or misinterpreted it. And it says, if you want to go fast, go alone.
You said this before. Yep.
If you want to go far, go together. There's double sides to this coin. There are times when you'll have to go by yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
You can go only so far, as you stressed earlier in the show.
Right.
But you can't go that far and go fast simultaneously. So you may have seasons where you need someone who may be slower, but are made to help you move the fast thing.
That's right.
Some vehicles aren't appropriate
for
the movement that you need.
Come on.
There are slow things that are made to move fast things. You want to order a car from Europe? How's it going to get here? That car can go 240 miles per hour, but is it driving across the Atlantic Ocean?
No.
So what does it have to depend on? A tugboat or another shipping somebody to move that thing slowly so that the fast thing can get to the other side and do what it does when it gets there.
Come on.
Some of us are missing the point of collaboration because all we want to do is go fast or all we want to do is go slow.
Right.
There are some people that move so slow that they are stifling the growth in their life, their family, their company. I'll never forget, there was a manager I used to work for. Actually, he was a director. And I challenged him because he brought me in to do something. And I knew I could crush it. And this is not a selfish point I'm going to make, but you watch how beautiful this is. He let me do what I've been telling him we should have done 3-4 months ago.
Okay.
We finally did it. And it was a huge success. We implemented software that changed the leadership structure. We were able to bring in more training. We were able to bring more leadership up. You have no idea how fast we 4,000% X'd the participation in this particular program because we implemented something. Right. And he came to me, he said, Charles, and this is what's so beautiful, not because he said it to me, but because somebody that's listening needs to say it to someone else in their life. He said, I want to apologize to you and thank you. He said, because I was the bottleneck. I was the thing that was holding this back. The director.
That's tough.
He said, I was the thing that held this back for so long. And I want to thank you because you were persistent enough to continue to challenge me on it and say, if we do this, I can guarantee it will work. And it did. And I'm saying that because there are so many people that are so afraid to move that they move everything and everyone around them slowly.
Yeah, of course. Holding
When
people
there's
back.
something in their vicinity that is made to move fast.
That's right.
And can get the result that they were wanting to get in the first place.
That's right.
But they are holding them back. And I'm saying this for you employees. I'm saying this for you coaches and even parents. I can't teach you or talk to you about parenting, but I have parents and I'm learning from you and them.
Right.
But there are some things that some people come into our life and they may force us to really change and look at it and take a hard look and recognize that we're the reason why it hasn't worked yet.
Yeah. That's true.
We need to collaborate with the people that we have in our circle. And if you have people under you that you employ and you don't let them do what they're gifted to do, you are the bottleneck.
And that's why most people will leave and do what they're innately gifted to do.
Girl, every time we talk, I want to get up and run and leave.
Well, if you leave, hello. It's Aspire Hard with Charles and Yvana. I mean, I can hold it down.
You can hold it down for sure.
But no, it's important to note that there are a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of businesses, a lot of people that took a risk and bet on themselves. They were told, you're too fast, you're too strong, you're too gifted, you're too this, or the person, the manager, the director, the CEO took their ideas and they ran with it and they never got the credit. All these stories that we hear when all that gifting was still in that person.
Always there.
So they created an opportunity for themselves.
Now watch
then
this.
they sought support, funding,
and created opportunities for others.
That's right.
Because most of the time,
we're sitting in one.
People forget that great employees don't leave because of some petty thing. Right. They leave because they're not appreciated for what's been put in them.
Come on.
When you bring someone in and they're gifted and you don't let them express that gift, or you want to hold it so tightly because you're the one that built this. I built this brand.
Disservice.
I built this business.
Disservice.
I did this thing. And you have people that are gifted around you. Right. You go ahead and do it by yourself because that's what's going to happen.
By themselves. And those same people in those positions
are going to do something great.
They're looking hurt.
Then people are going to leave and do something great.
Of course. And they always do because it was always in them.
Now watch this. Comparison. Because that's really what it was. Sometimes even when you're in a position of power, you have to protect yourself from comparing yourself to other people's gifts that you asked for and needed and put out a bulletin to say we're hiring for.
Right. I also thought about how you have to be very careful too. There have been people that have been working under some very, I'll just be real, abusive when it comes to the psychology of the employee, of the behaviors, all these things. So when they do start their own thing, they start to model.
Oh my gosh, Yvana, this is why you're one of the best coaches in the world.
And those same characteristics, habits, and traits that they hated, they start duplicating and replicating. And that's a huge disservice.
Oh my gosh, you are so brilliant. Because that is something that you and I discern and perceive all the time. Yeah. Even in our friend circles, sometimes we'll watch, especially when people talk about, and look, I'm being real, even with us. Because one of the things we always talk about is the work we had to do to heal from that abuse that we've walked through. Because we were gifted and talented.
And mistreatment.
And it was actually documented to the point where literally lawyers said, you guys have a case.
Right.
It's not just your perception of this.
Right.
This is real. This is real situations out here. Right. Like, if you pursue this, you will win. But this is the reality. So many people will leave an opportunity, or they will leave an employer and they will start their own thing because they literally do the same thing because that's where they were groomed.
One of my favorite things that I like to really instill into my clients is to pause after a major transition, pause after failure, pause after a win. Why? Because the momentum that you were building to get to that point, the momentum that you had that carried you through that moment, right, may not be what will sustain you into the next. So take a pause, take a moment after you get fired, released, take a pause after you're feeling that, okay, maybe I need to start up my own company. Maybe I need to branch out and build something. Maybe I need to be a part of someone else's vision, right? Pause, assess. Am I whole enough to do that?
Man, I came up with something that, I'm gonna have to say it, and you got to give me grace because you're gonna misunderstand it when I say it unless you can see it. But I was envisioning giving a talk, and it'll probably be one of the statements that I'll make from the platform, because in our line of work, we run into a lot of as holes. Listen.
Uh-oh.
As holes, A-S. They look as if they are whole.
It's about to get deep.
But they are not whole.
Ooh!
So they're parading.
I got it.
They're parading around as whole. But because they're not, they treat everyone around them like an as whole would.
That's going to be the topic of the show. That's going to be the whole thing, as whole.
As whole. W-H-O-L-E.
I now feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm going to leave the room. You got the rest. Close the show well. Make me proud. I'll be back.
But that's the reality.
We're going to end it right there.
We're
going to end it right there.
But
right there. No. Oof. Oh, man.
Let me say this for you, whether you're an employer or an employee.
That's real.
When you notice that someone is mistreating the people they're responsible for, or if you're actually seeing that you thought the only way you can lead people is by being so demanding that you truly abuse the people that you are employing to help build your vision, if you have a culture, and listen to me carefully, or are in a culture of fear, where you are dominating your employees and they're all worried or wondering whether or not they'll have a job next week. Yeah. And that's your way to motivate them because you let people go and you want them to see that no one's job here is secure, all these things. That's not leadership. No. You're parading around as whole. So you are being one to those around you. So you should be honest enough to say, maybe I need to get the hole plugged and filled so that I can give to others and make them whole. Because if your job, or if you as an employer, or you as a coach, is not respected in the sense that your job is to edify and make them better, improve their lives and livelihood, you missed it. You're an asshole.
That's the end of our show. I hope you were not deeply offended. I hope you took this as a challenge and encouragement. If this applies to you, we are here to support you and coach you. Please get our confidence guide. It will championship your life. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say because right now,
in 5 days, to find championship level confidence. It will help fill some of the holes if you're the type of person that has fear and doesn't know how to ask, or has fear and doesn't want to let people in, or doesn't want to trust the people that you are paying to entrust to do what you ask them to do so that your business and you personally can grow. This free guide, and if you don't just want the free guide and you want a challenge, there's a video compliment that goes with it as well. Or better yet, if you're in a position to invest in yourself, you ought to know enough by now to know that we're here to help you, and we can, because we're not going to baby a circumstance when you're here to build. All right, man. Great job. Great talk.
Like, share, download, subscribe. You know what to do.
That's right.
See you later, guys.
And be careful who you share this with, because they're going to know that you think they're an asshole.
Bye.